Hello and welcome once again to Shuffle Junkies in my favorite card game, Shadowverse. So as you know, the chest event's been going on, and I was looking for a good deck to push through the meta of what is currently a very aggressive and atomy-filled deck list. It's brutal out there. It's pretty tough. Anyway, I found this one to be a very fun and very effective deck. Except Lord Atomy can be pretty tough, and we'll talk more about that later. It's a bad matchup for us, but other common ladder experiences, you'll find we have the better deck here. Let's talk about the deck just a little bit. We are basically doing a bit of a Stormcraftish thing. We're looking to go straight face with some Storm minions. We got Taurus the Great, who's also great for trading minions. He does his damage before the opponent's minion can, which means he stays alive and they die. It's only when he's the attacker, though, not the defender. We're looking to do that with Moon here, who again is great for trading because they restore their health at the end of the turn. That's always good. Then we're also looking to just go straight to face with some effects. Wing Sentinel does 3 damage to the enemy's face. Our Tin Soldier, when it evolves, does 3 damage to any enemy we want, often our opponent's face. And then we just have a bunch of amulets that pop into 2/1 storms. 2/1 storms and 4/4 without storm. 3/5 storms. Oh, sorry, 3/4 storms. And where are you? This also comes with a Pinion Prayer, which has a 2/1 storm. So a lot of small damages that your opponent can't really stop because they're an amulet that goes straight into a storm minion. At no point do they have the option to remove that minion. To that effect, we also have some support for those. Hollow Dogma to pop them early. If we're evolving, we have Heavenly Hound to give us some nice ward. White Tiger for ward they can't remove with spells. Our removal, meanwhile, is Black Inscripture and Priest of the Cudgel. We want to get those nice banish effects, which is very helpful when going up against Lord Atomy, because if they have that Bone Chimera, which when it dies generates 2/1/1 skeletons, that brings them one step closer to Atomy showing up, so very helpful to banish those cards. You want to save your Black Inscriptures and your Priest of the Cudgels for those kind of targets when you're going up against Shadowcraft. If you're up against Dragoncraft, you're looking to get rid of, I can't remember the name of the card, but it's the 2/2 that when it dies, they ramp. Prevent the ramp. Get rid of the ramp. Otherwise, we have Globe of the Starways. That's good for draw, especially because it draws an amulet first and then another card, and most of our minions are coming from amulets. And that covers pretty much every card in the deck, which means it's time to watch the deck do its thing. We're going to take a look at 2 wins, 1 loss, 2 wins, because that's pretty much the ratio I experienced. I had a nice 7-game win streak before Lord Atomy took it away from me. Let's take a look. Alright, for our first game, let's take a look at someone you're going to see a lot of. It's Bloodcraft. Although you might not see Urias very much. You're more likely to see Vampy, because Vampy is a million times better. I mean, who the hell's going to take Urias over Vampy? Or Vania, depending on which translation we're going with. Anyway, when you're playing this deck, you're looking to mulligan to get your 1-drops, your 2-drops, and your 3-drops, because if you could go with the 1, 2, 3, you're pretty much guaranteed to win the game. And that's because your 1-drops are either going to generate a 2/1 Storm minion in 2 turns, at which point you already have other minions on the table, or it's draw, which just gives you card advantage. And if you're up against aggro, having card advantage is a very, very helpful thing. We have Luxwing here, who's about to die to Snarling Chains. Generally, Luxwing's going to get you chip damage, which is very helpful, because this is a deck all about burst damage. We're going to go ahead and play the White Tiger, preventing them from using any more spells on it. They're going to have to trade their stupid wolf. And then they're going into a Spiderweb Imp, which again helps us out. Them doing chip damage to themselves means we win faster. Same thing with Vengeance Blood. Our deck can easily do 10 damage in a turn because of the way all the amulets can line up and pop at the same time, and the fact that our Garuda generates 3 damage to face, and our Tin Soldiers generate 3 damage to face. Anyway, we're gonna use Priest of the Cudgel to get rid of the little jerk who generates 1 damage every time we play a minion, and then he trades into the 1/4. We get Diabolic Drained, but that doesn't matter. We basically just want to try and build a board that they can't get rid of. We want to keep them above 10 health until we're ready to win, because if we push them into Vengeance, they have more storm options, and they have more card effect options that could turn the tide in their favor. We want to try and do what we're doing right now, which is bring them down to having no cards in hand. Have them think they're able to do enough damage to kill us, and just completely turn things around. Because right now we have a 4-3, a 1-4. A March Hare's Tea Time gives us a Tin Soldier, clears the board for us, leaving them with 1 card, and then a card they're going to draw next turn. The game is already won. We can safely say we have won at this point. They get rid of our Tin Soldier, but that barely means anything because we get our Winged Sentinel. That lets us pop another Tin Soldier. Does 3 damage. We evolve the Tin Soldier for another 3 damage. We can clear. And we can do 2 more damage. That was 8 damage in a turn and a board clear. And they of course concede. There's no way they could do 9 damage this turn. I unfortunately managed to, as you know, when you play this game you have 10 replays. I accidentally recorded too many replays and I lost my Swordcraft matchups. But what you saw against Bloodcraft there, very similar with Aggro Sword. You just take care of their minions as they come, you build a board presence that they can't deal with, and then you win. This deck works very well against aggro. And now we're going to do some Shadowcraft here. We're going to win against this Shadowcraft. I'm pretty sure it's a Lord Atomy Shadowcraft, because they're playing this 2-2 here, which shows up pretty often in Atomy decks. I unfortunately didn't have anything too great to play there, but we're gonna bank on the fact that we could Hallow Dogma here and clear their board. Because again, the most important thing for you to do, and you're going against Shadowcraft right now, is if you think there's even a slight chance they're playing Lord Atomy, is make sure they do not have a board. You want to keep their board clear. Because if they have 4 things on the board, they're going to get a free 8-8, and then all of their Death Rattle effects are going to go off. I'm sorry, their last word effects are going to go off. I'm sorry, I play a lot of card games. We're going to go ahead and use Priest of the Cudgel to banish and clear, and then go face with 4 damage. Most decks you could mindlessly just fling damage at your opponent and just be a free spirit. But against Shadowcraft, you're going to have to slow things down a little bit and think. They're down to 1 card. This is an easy matchup. This is actually the wrong game. I didn't think this is the one I picked here. But they all end the same way. You keep their board clear, you whittle them out of cards, and you win. If they play Lord Atomy and they get it off, you want to banish Lord Atomy, not kill it, because Ceridwen will bring it back as a free 8-8. And there they go. You're going to get a lot of early game concedes with this. You're going to win turn 5, 6, 7 a lot. But we should also talk about when you lose to Lord Atomy. Because you're gonna see a lot of Lord Atomy for some godforsaken reason. I know I did. I had a solid 5 games in a row of Lord Atomy, and then I called it a night. I'm sure I would have had even more. We are not blessed with a good opening hand here, because again, you want to get that early minion presence on the board. And of course, if you're going against Shadowcraft and they play a Staircase to Paradise, you might as well give up. It's gonna be a bad situation. Why is it going to be a bad situation? Because you can't get rid of that. It just has to stay there. Which means they only need to play 3 more minions. Here's my major misplay, by the way. If you see Bone Chimera, banish it. Don't think you're going to be good enough to play around it. Just get rid of it. Because that 1 minion turns into 2 minions. And they're not looking for big minions, they're just looking for minions. They want presence. Because they just need to have enough crap on the board to play Lord Atomy. And of course, another Staircase to Paradise. That means, as you're about to see, they're going to draw 6 minions very soon. I thought I was being clever, denying them a trade. I forget that Soul Conversion is a card that is in every Shadowcraft deck. They're gonna go ahead and get their chip damage in, and then Lord Atomy shows up, and we'll give him 6 draw. And then of course the Frozen Mammoth, which everyone loves to include in Lord Atomy these days. We are in a very bad situation, and I'm gonna make another bad choice here. My plan, at least the way I'm thinking of it right now, is I'm gonna leave the 6/6 here, tempting him to trade, but a good Lord Atomy player will never do that. The reason why is if he were to trade, he would have an 8/2, which Black Inscripture could then banish. He does not want to have Lord Atomy banished. He wants it to die. Why does he want it to die? Well, I'll show you very soon. As in right now. So he's gonna go ahead and kill his own Lord Atomy. Which you're thinking is a terrible decision. Because clearly I had no way of dealing with that Lord Atomy that was already on the table. So he goes ahead and gives himself a 10/10 and a 6/7. I'm going to be able to banish that 10/7 in a moment. Put up a ward for myself. We're going to use Luxwing for 2 chip damage, because we do 1 damage when we evolve. Here comes. Boop. And then 1 damage as the Clash. Then we're going to banish that Lord Atomy. The problem is, one of them already died. He killed one to generate this Lord Atomy. Which means Serdwin shows up with her great card art that I love, and generates a free 8/8 upon evolution. It's over. We have no means of dealing with this. Which is why, later on when we're talking about possible card substitutions, if we don't have some of the cards I have, one of the recommendations I'm going to make is Themis, as a way of getting through this kind of situation. Anyway, just for fun, we're gonna go ahead and bring him down to 5, just as a show of force, and then we're gonna lose. Alright, let's feel better by stomping some dragons. Boy, I love killing Dragoncraft. Mostly out of a sense of jealousy, because I do not have very many Dragoncraft cards, and it makes it very hard for me to complete Dragoncraft-related quests. I'm working on it though. I have an idea for a deck that will probably work out. But again, I have 0 legendaries for Dragoncraft. I've never drawn one before. It's crazy how unlucky I am when it comes to Dragoncraft legendaries. So, off the bat, Staircase to Paradise, which makes me think they might be playing Prime Dragon Keeper, PDK. Which is unusual, because after the nerf, you don't see it very often, even though it's not that much weaker than it was before. Another staple card of PDK. So with this kind of setup, we don't have to worry about going faster than our opponent, we just want to set up some good amulets for burst damage. Go ahead and Pinion Prayer with a Luxwing. Oh, never mind. We're gonna go Hollow Dogma to generate damage in this turn. Which is a very good idea. Good idea past me. And just because of how this deck... Oh, they're gonna double Blazing Breath. Ooh, they're gonna waste a Breath of the Salamander. They're going to regret that later. Come turn 6. Anyway, we're looking real good here. March Hare's Tea Time into Winged Sentinel is the perfect turn 5, turn 6 play. That's because March Hare's Tea Time, you could evolve the Tin Soldier for 3 damage. and then next turn, Wing Sentinel for another 3 damage, pop the other March Hare's Tea Time amulet for another Tin Soldier, which you can evolve again for another 3 damage. That's where a lot of this damage comes from, is just playing the right cards in the right order. They just give up. There's no way they could deal with what we have on the board, and we have more amulets ready to pop. Last, but certainly not least, is something we saw a lot of last week, which is our good friend Runecraft, this case played by Daria. The best hero you could choose. And the card back. I empathize with you. You're a person of great taste here. Anyway, D-Shift was very prevalent about a week ago, and the tides have turned hard against D-Shift. We're seeing a lot of aggressive decks, we're seeing, out of all things, mid-range sword with... I can't remember the name of the card, but it generates an amulet that prevents your hero from taking more than 4 damage at a time, including all of your minions, which means Giant Chimera, useless against that. And, you know, D-Shift in general. The whole point is to do like 14 damage a turn and win, but if you're only doing 8 damage a turn, you're gonna run out of D-Shift potential, and then you'll lose your minions, and then you don't have a win condition anymore. So that's why I think D-Shift has been falling behind. And I'm talking as if this is definitely D-Shift, but you're going to see there's going to be a weird turn soon. So far, everything they've done, very standard D-Shift cards. You have your small removal spells, you have cards draw, you have Golem Assault, and you have bounce, bouncing cards back into your opponent's hand. They're going to do exactly what I want them to do here, which is generate some chip damage for me and put this right in Black Inscripture range. But here it is, Ogler. This is not a D-Shift card, this is a Daria Tempo card. So that's quite odd. I've never seen this combination before. Obviously Daria runs Spell Boost, but not these cards for Spell Boost. At least not that I've... Oh, you know what? Actually, I take that back. They do run those cards. Except for the Golem, and definitely not this. This Magic Owl is just D-Shift. You don't put that in not D-Shift. Unless I'm missing something. I mean, sure, it all works for Daria Tempo, but obviously it's not working that well, because we are going to win. There's no stopping us now. We're going to evolve Moon for 5 damage, and with a hand that includes 2 Wing Sentinels, there's no stopping us. We're just going to do 3 damage straight to face that they can't stop. Especially when they're going to waste a lot of their time, and energy, and minions getting rid of our 5/6 here. They would have had to D-Shift this turn to prevent death from happening. But they didn't, so let's go ahead and give them some false hope by playing a Glow with the Starways. And then take that hope away immediately with a Wing Sentinel. There's kindness and cruelty, I promise. We got the stuff. Well, there you have it. Stormcraftish. It's not exactly what most people play when they're playing Stormcraft these days, but it's pretty close. And in this particular meta right now, I find it to be a very aggressive but flexible deck. I've only lost to Lord Adamy in the past, I want to say, we'll say 13 games. I lost twice to Lord Adamy, the rest are all wins. So, very effective deck, especially in the A3 range, which is where I am right now. Although again, if you don't have Moon, the only legendary in this deck, but you do have some vials, so you can make some of the gold cards in here, you definitely want to have Wing Sentinel Garuda. If you are going to play any Havencraft, this is just a very good card to have. Taurus the Great, very good here, but you probably don't need to craft it. There are some neutral Storm cards you could put in its place. But if you wanted to replace Moon, because again this is the legendary in the deck, I would say maybe Themis, because if you miss the opportunity to prevent Adamy from getting started, Themis at the very least lets you course correct so you can clear the board. Anyway, as always, Check the description below if you want to find the deck code to this and put it together yourself. And I hope you had fun. Give it a try, and hey, if you have any ideas for decks that you want to see me try out, if I have the cards for it, I'll give it a go. If you want me to provide a full list of every card I have, I'll even do that. I just want some ideas. I love playing Shadowverse, but I want more ways to play Shadowverse. So, hit me up. Anyway, hope you had fun, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.